We will start talking about controller extension. Okay, so what is controller extension? Controller extension is similar to custom controller, but the way it is called is different. A custom controller is called as a primary controller on the page, whereas a controller extension is called as an extension. Okay, so you already have a page, you have a controller on the page, you want to extend the functionality of that controller. Okay, then you can create one more class which will act as an extension to the existing controller. All right, so it's something like this. You have a page, and for this page you, let's say you already have a controller. This is where all the code is written. This is acting as the primary controller for the page. Okay, now this can be standard or custom, whatever. Now if I want to extend the functionalities on the page, but I don't want to make any change here. In case of standard, I cannot make any change here. I'm not allowed to touch the code. In case of custom controller, let's say if I don't want to make any changes here, but still I want certain more functionalities on my page, then what you can do, you can create one more class and call it on the page as an extension. Okay, so now this page will have the primary controller as well as extension. Fine, so this is also defined as a class. The extension is also defined as a class, and this is something which works in addition to the actual controller page that we have. Okay, so it's pretty simple. All that we have to do is we just have to go ahead and all right, so let me log into Salesforce and start working on this. Give me 1 second.
System frozen G.
I'm not frozen. I'm not able to delete this drawing.
That's okay.
No problem with clicking on the button. Right. Okay, so let's get into let's get into a page which has a standard controller first. All right, so we'll start with a page which has a standard controller, and then we will create the controller extension for that page. So let me go to any of the page that we have created earlier. We'll use an extension there. Let's say Q2. Okay, So this page uses a standard controller, right? Which means no custom functionalities can be used here as of now, correct? I want to use the standard controller. I want to continue using the standard controller on this page. But in addition to that, I also want to use a custom defined method. How will we do that? It's very simple. All that we have to do is we have to just go and create a class and call that class as an extension. So let's go to setup, develop Apex classes, create a new class, public class, call it E1, whatever you want, you can name it. And in this class, I will define a variable and a get method. String is equals hello, and let's define a get method for this. Get as get plus and the return is. Okay, so the class is ready, saved, it's ready. Now I have to call this class in the Visualforce page as an extension, not as a primary controller. I'm gonna call it as an extension to the standard controller that we already have. So let's go to the code. All that you have to do is on the page, controller is already there. Just call that class as an extension. That's it. Okay. It will say that you have not created a constructor. So when you are actually trying to call a class as an extension, you have to create one. You will have to write one more line here, which is a constructor public E1 apex pages dot standard controller. Now it's fine. And you're okay. Okay, now since you have called this class here, you can call the methods defined in that class. You can now call the methods which have been defined in that class. So yeah, do you see this? The same way, you know, the way you can call a method from a custom controller, you can call all the methods. You can define the methods in a class. You can define the class as an extension and call the methods into your standard controller page or any other page, right? So functionality wise, there is, you know, not much of a difference. The only thing important here is that whenever you create a custom controller, whenever you create an extension, whenever you're creating an extension, you will have to kind of Okay, let me put it this way. When you're creating a custom controller, then you are just able to use the custom methods. When you're using a standard controller, then you're able to use the standard methods only. Okay, you're not able to edit the code. With an extension, you will have the option of using the custom and standard both functionalities, which is the most common use of a controller extension. Like in this case, if you look into this particular thing, this related list, this I can use only with the standard controller account. Detail component, this is working with the standard controller account. Fine. If I don't use the standard controller, then it will not be that easy for me to use the detail component and the related list, because these components it will not work. Okay, even if they are working, I'll have to write code or s object variables for everything, which account detail you want to show and all that stuff. So I'll have to supply the id there, and I'll have to pass the id here and as a subject. So my entire coding has become easy because I've used the standard controller, so it's able to use the default functionalities. However, in addition to that, if I just wanted to use one more custom functionality, then I'm able to do this. Got it? Is it clear? Let me know if there is any question or doubt. Anyone?
Um, Jeet, I have a question.
Hmm.
I just got it. So, as in, it could be a silly question, but I'm still asking you. With, extensions, right? Can we have multiple extensions, or is it just always one extension?
With extensions, can we have multiple extensions? Yes, we can have. Why did you feel that it's a
Okay.
silly question?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
silly
I
about
think.
it? No, you can have. You can have. So, I mean,
Okay.
you can call one more class here as one more extension if you have need to.
Okay. In the same standard controller account extension E1,
See, this is
same
your
another
primary controller.
extension.
This
Okay.
is primary controller.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this is like your
Okay.
base plan of your phone, and this is top up. This is SMS pack. This is data pack. That way.
Okay.
So you can have multiple
Okay.
extensions. But the primary controller, the first controller, has to be one only. So you cannot use two controllers in a page. You can definitely use one controller and two extensions. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Great. So now the next question that we have here, sorry, the next thing that we have here is, why will I use a controller extension with a custom controller? Because custom controller is something where you are anyhow writing the code on your own. I mean, you are the one who is writing all the methods. Now, Pankaj, why do you think you will use an extension with a custom controller? Should there be any need of an extension with a custom controller?
What I think is if we have a custom code written, that is what we are using in multiple scenarios. And after a period of time, if you wanted to add on something to that, means if you have a custom code, and if you wanted to add some functionality to it, add some code to it, in instead of
But
writing
why
a
don't you
code,
add it in the controller, the custom controller itself?
uh, that can be done also. Yeah.
Naren, you can also answer. Why won't you write it in the actual? Because you are the one who has written the class, right?
That actually brought me to the question, why are we using an extension in the standard controller? It is that I was a bit skeptical about.
See, the point is pretty simple. All that you
Yep.
have to understand is that, okay, I said that you are the one who has written the controller class, right?
Yeah.
It may not be true in every case. Some cases, someone else might have written that class, right? You start working in a
Right.
project, and you see that the page is already there. There's a controller which is written, there is a class which is already there, and everything is working absolutely fine. So you don't want to
Okay.
go ahead and do a mess with the actual class. It's there Either you are not
Oh, okay.
allowed to
Yep.
or you do not want to, whichever is the scenario, right?
Right.
Now you can think of, instead of going and something which is actually working absolutely okay, instead of making changes into that, you just might want to use an extension, which works good for your uh, custom or additional functionalities, whatever you are trying to add, right?
One more thing I can think of is if you have a class written and if you are using that class in other classes,
Hmm.
and that class is like a unique class which is helping you in your day-to-day activities, and you don't want to amend it, you just wanted to add on something to it. In that
That's
scenario also you can use extension.
that's also correct. That's also one scenario. And that's actually what we were also talking about, that if I do not want to, or if I'm not allowed to make changes into the actual controller class, then it's the controller extension in terms of custom controller. Now extension can be very useful. One, it gives you additional I mean, it's useful, but it's not very frequently used. So we'll have to understand this, right? So we will try to avoid extension till the time we do not have the actual need for it. So it's not that at the moment you feel that, oh, I know how to use a controller extension, let me put three methods in this one, three in that one, and I'll call both of them. I mean, we try to, as I think in one of the other sessions also I've said that we will try to reduce the coding and all that stuff, and we will also try to reduce the source of the code, right? So I would not want to scatter things at multiple places. So till the time I do not have a serious requirement, I'll not use a controller extension. With standard controller, sometimes it becomes mandatory. I mean, you do not have a choice, because standard controller page, if you are using, and you just do not have the option of defining any custom functionality on a standard controller page, so then it becomes mandatory for you. But with a custom controller, you will still want to consider the possibility of going and writing the program in the primary controller rather than straight away jumping into a controller extension. That's how it works. Hmm? All right. So
One more thing
uh,
I wanted to want you to repeat is hello.
tell me.
Uh, uh, the thing which you said about while using a standard controller you have to use standard methods, and while using the custom controller you can use only custom methods. Is it like the same?
Yeah, so while you're using a standard controller and you need a custom method, then you do not have a choice, but you have to go with the extension.
Yeah.
You don't have any other choice, right? Extension is something which is required. When you're using a custom controller, then you have a choice. Either you plan to write those methods in the custom controller class, or you plan to create another extension kind of a thing for that, right? So that's your choice. Are we clear on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me know if there is any question or doubt. We're clear. Okay. I'll give you guys a small activity. Okay. This is the page. This is what we created. A4, and here is the code for this. We have used tabs in it. We have several tabs. So we have just used tab and tab panel here, right, to display the related list. Correct. I just want to have one more tab here. My requirement is pretty simple. How many tabs we have? One, two, three, four. Four tabs we have, and four tabs are visible here. One, two, three, four. Correct. I want one more tab here. Apex tab, and I will call it. Sorry, label it campaign. Okay. Inside this tab, I want to see list of all the campaigns. Whatever campaigns my company has. Inside this, I want to see list of all the campaigns. Fine. and I want you to do this with the help of an extension. We are using a standard controller, and I want you to do this with the help of an extension.
Mm.
Can we do this? Is this doable?
Do you think it's gonna take a long time or
No, it's not going to take a long time, but can we
okay?
actually understand the concept?
Yeah, we can. It's
Doable? We can work on it.
You said that standard controller. Uh,
Page is going to be same. I am not going to change anything on the page. I'm just giving you a requirement. I mean, I just want you to take my requirement as if I'm the client, and you know the concept. I just want you to do this. Got my point? Currently, I have a standard controller page which has 4 tabs. So it shows me the details, contacts, opportunities, cases, all these things, right? For whatever code we have in this page, let this code be there. Okay, I do not have a problem with that.
Okay.
I just want that in addition to all the 4 tabs that you have given me, I need one more tab at the end. When I click on this tab, under this tab I should be able to see the list of campaigns. That's it. Rest everything, whatever is there, let it be there. So you should be just bothered about what you have to put inside this campaign.
can be done.
Campaign object and either.
Yeah.
I want to see list of campaigns under this.
Okay.
Can this be
Okay.
done?
Let me see if I have that
Yes, can
page.
it
It
can
should
be
be
done.
done.
I can copy paste the code for you,
Yeah.
Naren.
Yep.
Having a bad memory. Chalo, the code I have given you. Now, okay. If you feel that it can be done, what is, how do you plan to work on this? First of all, let's, just have a quick look into what do you plan to do.
I'll create an external class and I'll call it as an extension. In that class, what I'll do is I'll use a record set variable which will actually pull in all the campaigns, and I'll show it on this page using a table.
Naren, do you think what he is saying is correct?
Um,
Pankaj, repeat once again.
What I said is I'll write a class as an extension. I'll call that class on this page, and in order to display a list of campaigns, I'll use a record set variable, and I'll use a table functionality of VF page
What
to
is that
display
record set variable?
list of records.
List of records, list of campaign, right?
Yeah,
Then you will do you need a get method for
get
that?
method. Yeah, yeah.
You need a get method for that? Okay. Naren, whatever he's saying, is that correct?
mm, I'm still thinking, trying to still understand that thing. Unless I do it, I wouldn't know. I'm just being honest.
Thinking he's sleeping.
Not sleeping, thinking पक्का what to be done क्योंकि ऐसे हवा में
अच्छा
बात करने से मेरे को ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आता है. So unless I do it,
अच्छा,
I wouldn't know.
let's try and understand this. I mean, definitely,
Okay.
once you do it, then only you will understand. But just I am actually talking. What will be the initial plan? I'm asking you to get the list of campaigns on this page under this tab,
Okay.
under the campaign tab. Okay. So
Mm-mm.
what is that you're gonna do then? Acha, let's uh, let's let's
Okay. So
let's forget
actually,
about this page.
just
Let's leave this page.
okay.
Okay. Let me make
Okay.
it more simpler for you guys.
ठीक है.
Let's go back to the A2.
हाँ.
Okay. In this
Yep.
A2, I have some code written here, right? There's a page block, and inside
Yes.
the page block there's detail and there's a related list. All right. After
Yep.
this page block, when this ends, I want, or before this page block, I want one more page block which will have a list of all the campaigns.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Can we do that?
Yes.
So for that, what we have to
Yes.
do?
what we have to do to get the list of accounts.
List of campaigns I'm talking about again.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let me go back.
I'm talking about list of campaigns. So now the point where I actually want you guys to start thinking on is the page is of account, right? So basically where I
Yeah.
want you guys to think is the page is of
Yeah,
account. I'm trying to
account.
display a
Yeah,
list of all the campaigns. It's not possible on the
yeah.
account standard controller, right? So
Yeah.
the thought of using
Customer
an
controller.
extension is coming from there, that it's a standard controller page for a account. I am trying to call campaigns on this. Okay, so that's where you should be thinking on. If Abhi, if I just tell you that okay, I want to display list of accounts, then what will you do? Then it's pretty simple. Then record set
Yeah.
where on this
Then just
Excel
go
file.
use the accounts. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but because I'm actually trying to display something which is coming from a different object, my standard functionality does not allow me to do that. So if the standard functionality doesn't allow me to do that, all that I have to do is I
but
have to use
the
the custom functionality. Yes, you were saying something.
yeah. So I have to use the class. I have to create a new class and then list contacts,
Or campaigns.
and then list. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Contacts. No, I have to
Campaign.
list the sorry, contacts. I think. Okay, campaigns, and then
All that as
have
an
to give the
extension.
name like select name, and have to call that as all those whatever things I want from
Correct.
there, and then
That's it. Exactly the
yeah,
same. So you can do it with this code also. I mean, you can use this particular page also, or the
yeah,
tab one, whichever. I mean, it's just a matter of we are not bothered about what other code is written. We are just bothered about the list of campaign to be displayed on the page, which has account as the standard controller. Correct. All right. So let's just quickly work on it. Got like 5 minutes to do it.